Okay, so ignoring the random players in blue, like the names and stuff, this is, if we watch here, so this basically where you're going to hang out. So you're always staying in the black based on where the ball actually is. So if you're up here, you're going to be closer to the ball, where if the ball's down here, you're going to be over here. So it's going to go through a couple of scenarios to actually see how, in relation to the ball, you should be. So, okay, if we go here, the ball's in a pretty neutral state, so you're just going to sit sort of a little bit more aggressive because the ball's here, where if the ball was back here, you'd be further back, obviously. So if the ball is on the right hand side quite deep, you'd be on this side of your box. So if you think about it with the goal here and the 6 yard box here, it basically is a straight line down there from the 6 yard box, and then just outside the penalty box is the edges of your box. So if the ball's here, you want to be halfway between the halfway line and the end. Then we play it back, you move across again, you wait, and then because the ball comes over here, you're then able to move to the edge of your box and basically try and get that ball there. Then the ball comes back, we come back here. So you see it's all about that movement based on where the ball actually ends up. So just again, as it comes over, you sort of are continuing to move to the side, and then when it ends up here in your section, you can then actually take control of that. What's next? Okay, it starts to move up, so you have to drop back a little bit, because if you were still here, the ball play will obviously just go past you. So as it comes over here, you drift across again. So we just drift across to not always be running at the player. Sometimes it's more important to be covering the space rather than actually running straight for this player, when you can let Steph and Pip and stuff like that handle these guys here. Here's where, if they're playing it into your space, so they play it behind you, you then want to follow that player and defend from there. So as the ball comes over, you'd probably ideally be on this side of the player in this situation, but you get the idea that you're then dropping back into this space. If it gets over to this side, you then want to be on the defensive side of things, so that you end up actually protecting that end of your box, rather than, if you're stuck up here, you're not much good when the ball's all the way down here. If the ball's over here, you're obviously protecting this, because you've been in the right position here, so that when the ball does end up over here, you're able to be covering that spot. They take a shot, and it goes to the goalie. So this in a goal kick scenario, so you're basically just for halfway, edge of your box, ready to play out. So ball comes over here, so you drift a little bit across. If you watch you here, you start in your neutral spot, and then because the ball's on this side of the pitch, you have to drift a little bit over this way. Then we keep going. So Chenier would be Harriet normally, but if the ball comes central, you then come back into your neutral spot. Goes to Chelsea. You're already in your spot, so you're all good. Back over here, you drift back over here again. Okay, so now we're looking at moving up. So that port from Chelsea over to Anika, you're then back in this position, ready to go. So that if it goes down the line, you can run here and get that shot, like you had against whatever that team was where you almost scored. Because if it's on this side, you're able to run in late and get that cross in like we've been working on in training. And you see here, yeah, you can see in the very last bit, yeah, how far forward you need to be when the ball's out here, but you're still continuing across that box.